Welcome to Host. I am Karli. I will be reading one of your ghost stories today. This comes from a book and from an author I really do respect a lot. The story is called The Ghosts by the Grave. What follows is again a story told by an individual who asked that her name not be used because of her, in her words, sensitive employment situation. I will, of course, respect her wishes and call her Jane. The words are hers, and the story's a bit unsettling. Jane swore it's true. I read quite a bit about legends and ghost stories, she began. I read your books and others, and I found them entertaining. I read them for just that entertainment. I often wondered what it might be like to actually walk in the footsteps of those who have experienced ghostly occurrences or those who write about them. Little did I ever dream that I would find myself in the first situation someday. Jane, who revealed only that she lived somewhere between Boyertown and Kutztown, Pennsylvania, did mention that she comes from an old Dutchy family where belief in hexes, ghosts, and other supernatural phenomena was not uncommon. Some of our most pleasant memories as a young girl were the times I would sit and listen to my grandmother's stories about old haunted houses and ghosts she had heard about. She never claimed she saw one, but would always tell me she wanted to, and I hoped that someday she could return as a ghost. She kidded that she would come back and haunt some people who upset her in life. Jane added that although she was raised with an occasional ghost story crossing the path, she never let her life or beliefs get in the way. She said that she is quite religious, and as an adult, has often questioned how ghost and a soul can coexist in whatever filament awaits after. Maybe you can already figure out where this is leading, she continued. I was very close to my grandmother. My grandfather had died when I was about 5, and I don't have many memories of him. It was my mama, as I called her, who was a great influence on me. Well, it was last September, early in the month, when my husband and I went to my grandmother's grave at Huff's church to place flowers there on the anniversary of her death. She was born in June and died in September, so we placed flowers on her grave on both anniversaries. This time, my husband decided to wander around and take pictures. It was a beautiful day, and he was a very good photographer. I was left to place the flowers. We've been doing it so long that it's not some solemn ceremony. I just get the flowers, go to the grave, often some thoughts and a prayer, and sort of say hi to her. This time was very, very odd, though. My husband was off doing his thing down the road, and I walked to my mom's grave. I'd gotten about 10 feet from the tombstones when something seemed to hit me. It was as if I ran into some invisible barrier that actually stopped me in my tracks. I wasn't paralyzed or anything, but I could feel a very strong resistance. Of course, it made me think and look around and wonder what the heck was happening. Well, I glanced to my left, then I glanced to my right. And when I looked over my right shoulder, I saw, plain as day, my grandmother standing there. She was in profile, looking down, and apparently not noticing me. It was as if she was looking down into the grave. I know you have heard all kinds of strange things over the years, and I hope you believe what I'm saying. There she was, and there I was, but we never made eye contact. But it was as if there was some kind of mental communication happening. I could, in my mind, hear her voice. And here's where it gets weird. I could hear her saying something like, pity, pity, pity. At least that's what I figured it was. And then as I stood there, trying to sort things out, she seemed to look toward the sky and say, why, why? I was chilled to my bones. And I knew then and I know now that I had not imagined this. There she was, clear, but somehow misty, standing right there. And in my head, at least, she was saying those words. Of course, my husband wasn't anywhere nearby, and I couldn't fall back on him to confirm any of this. It all happened very quickly. And when she said, why? She faded away and I was released from whatever force held me there. I told my husband about it when I met up with him a few minutes later, and he understood that I might very well have experienced everything I told him and what I have told you. In fact, he was much more a believer in these things than I am. Even today, he says that if that was what I saw, it is what I did see. If you were asked how I felt about this all, I would have to say I almost am comforted by it. After all, it was someone I loved who seemed to come back for just a short time. Even if she didn't notice I was there, but I think she did. I feel good knowing that her spirit may remain out there somewhere. And here's a little Scottish prayer to end this little ghost story. From goalies and ghosties and long legged beasties and things that go bump in the night, good Lord, deliver us all. With that being said, guys, have a very blessed be day. And don't forget, get out and explore. Read a nice ghost story. Listen to an elder. Do something. Just live your life. Love y'all. Blessed be.